What time is it? Podcast time. It's a celebration. What time is it? Podcast time. So the app that I use to record is called Riverside, and it says live, which doesn't mean recording to me. It means like live, but I know I'm not live anywhere. So anyways, this is me. Welcome to me and my brain. My name is Melissa Hemming, and if a life coach and a therapist had a baby, you get me. I'm so excited for you to hear today's episode. I interview the fabulous, beautiful, wonderful, brave Kelly O'Neill. She is someone that I met through my Beachbody community, my beloved Beachbody community, and we became friends, and it's been so fun watching her post Beachbody journey, and just to see her going after what has been on her heart has been so inspiring to me. So I know you'll love this episode. Follow along. I'm going to put her Instagram handle in the show notes, so have a listen. If you want to support the podcast, $10 a month, you get 2 exclusive content episodes per month. I just put one out last Thursday, and it's really where I do deep dives into whatever we're discussing in the weekly episodes, and or just really personal shit from my own journey that helps me to get it all out there in order to help you. And that's sort of like been a pivot of my business this year, is less performing. I used to sort of put on my helpful Melissa hat, and now I'm just wearing my natural hat, if you will. I feel like Sincere from Love Island with the metaphors, but I come on to you as Melissa. No performance needed, because I believe now that sharing authentically and from my heart is helpful enough. And it's been really freeing for me to say, no more performing. I am worthy and helpful just as I am. And so that's been really exciting. So I really thank my exclusive content girls for being there and listening to me and supporting the podcast. It means so much to me to have a space like that. And so, and I also have subscriptions on Instagram now. So sharing more behind the scenes from dating and things that I am not brave enough to share to the public yet. Who knows though? Who knows? Maybe one day. But for now, you have to join me in the exclusive content. But thank you for being here nonetheless. Let's get to the fucking show. Hello, Kelly. Welcome to the It's Your Effin' Journey podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
I know. I'm excited to be here. I'm just excited to see you.
I know. So Kelly and I met through Beachbody, right? Body. We had...
Yep.
When was the first time that we met through Beachbody?
I think the official time we met was we were away at Summit, and you knew Erin, a mutual friend, and then we did something together. We went on that hike together, and that was really, I think, how we met each other.
Yes. So we had a mutual friend, and then we had the New Leader Conference in Vegas that we were going to. And that was a big deal. That was like a conference that you earn, and it's really
that was a really big deal.
It was. So we went to Vegas, and then we did the zip lining in Old Vegas. Remember that?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I forgot about that until you just said it.
That was so fun.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And that was after. So that's it. So we had the New Leader Conference, and then we had a whole entire day in Vegas. So we rented a car. We went to a hike in the mountains.
Yep.
Outside of Vegas, and then that's when we went to Old Vegas, did the zip lining. And that was so crazy, because do you remember
you're breaking up just a little, but I think we're good.
Shit. Okay. And I was like, we had all day, right, to do the hike, and then we get there and they closed at 4 p.m. Remember, they were like, you got to come back.
Yeah, it was something weird like that. You're right. I had kind of forgotten about that. But yeah, we went in and we were like, we have like 4 hours here. And they're like, no, we close in like 30 minutes. And we were just like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was that day was a little bit crazy, but definitely fun. Definitely
Yeah,
fun.
so so fun. So now post Beachbody, you have been doing some really cool stuff. What has this looked like for you? Because it's been really fun to watch.
So I've kind of been all over the place. I have this like ADHD brain that makes me want to build all these different businesses all the time. Like I want to try everything, I want to do everything. So I've dabbled in a lot of different things. I'm kind of in a different wellness company right now, doing hormone health products, but I also do some social media marketing. But one of my biggest passions recently, or I should say, my biggest passion recently is that I stopped drinking alcohol. And not that that's like a big woo sometimes to some people, but for me, it was a big deal because it had been something that I wanted to do for years and just couldn't find the right way to do it that didn't make me feel like I was missing out, or the right way to do it so that I wouldn't be afraid of the way people would react to me. And I wasn't what I would call an alcoholic, but I think that I hate that term anyways. But I was definitely a very, what I would say, normal person drinking, a mom wine drinker, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I actually had my whole brand at one point was kind of built around this whole mommy wine drinker online. So it's kind of was a big deal for me
yeah,
to put out in the world that I was not going to be drinking anymore.
yeah. How has that shift been for you? Being that you built such a brand on drinking and now you're not drinking. How is it has you have people embraced it?
So it's been interesting. I feel like some people have really embraced it and some have kind of ignored it almost. Like they're not comfortable talking about it, so I don't push that on anyone, and that it's my own thing. I don't judge anyone else whether they drink or they don't. I don't care. That's not for me to tell them what to do. I don't talk about it unless someone wants me to talk about it. So it's been kind of weird. I mean, I've definitely had some people even send me messages saying, get off your high horse. I had this one guy send this to me recently. He said, get off your high horse. You shouldn't be telling people what to do. And so I've been getting some of that too, right? And
Yeah,
so it's been an interesting mix, I
yeah.
guess.
Well, nothing it's so triggering for people to sort of look at someone else and then interpret their own behavior or their own habits. And it can be hard for people to look at
Yes.
themselves that way because you're uncovering something about them that might be a touchy subject.
Yeah, that is, I think, what I've learned the most is that when someone reacts really negatively towards me, it's typically because they most likely are questioning their own relationship with alcohol. And because they aren't in a mind space to do anything about it yet, it makes them maybe feel bad, or I don't know exactly what they're feeling, but it definitely, like you said, it basically shines a mirror on them,
Yeah.
and that's an uncomfortable feeling. So they
Yeah.
reject it.
Yeah. So now so you started an Instagram page and you're sort of just sharing your journey with it and sort of how you've been feeling since you stopped.
Yeah. So the funny thing is so this, like I said, I've been trying to do this. I knew that I wanted to just stop drinking 2 years ago. I knew it. I knew it in my gut, and I did stop for a few months, but I never committed to it in my own heart. And I was still very nervous about how other people would react to my decision. And so I think I just let it waver me to a point where I ended up just going back to the way that I was before. And that was just, I mean, and I was like drinking wine on the weekends or at social gatherings. That was my extent, but it still just wasn't suiting my lifestyle. And so I hit a point where there was a situation that arose where I was involved in this. It was kind of an argument. It was a lot of people. Everybody had been drinking all day. And after the incident happened, the next day I woke up and I realized that was it. I thought the whole incident wasn't my fault. It wasn't even around me. But I realized in that moment that if I had been completely sober, the incident would not have escalated to where it did because I would have been able to have better influence on the situation. And as soon as I realized that, I thought, well, I can only control me and my behavior. I can't control them. I couldn't have controlled them, but I was done. I was like,
Yeah.
that's it. That's my turning point. And
Yeah.
so as soon as I made that decision, I realized I needed to put something out there for other women who were in the same spot I had been for the past 2 years and help
Yeah.
them get to that decision that I made. And so that's
Yeah.
why I started that Instagram page. I started talking about it and being more vocal about it. And then I started a private community for women who are in this like weird in between stage of, I know I don't really want to be doing this, but I'm really not sure how to stop. And it's scary to tell people that you're doing that because then if you fail or you think you've
Yeah.
failed, then you feel like you've failed them as well.
Yeah.
So
And there
that's why I created the community.
and I love that because I think that there is such an in between. And have you read Undimmed?
No,
Okay,
I
I
don't think
just
so.
read
No.
it. You will like it. It's a book about just everything that you could potentially do that harms you or dims sort of your growth or your light or even your hurt and your trauma and why are you doing this?
Hmm.
But in that book
I'll definitely check it out.
she talks a lot about how she did not fit the AA community and sort of the, the viewing herself as an alcoholic. She didn't feel like that fit her.
Right.
And I think a lot of people have that, this black and white. What do I do? How do I define myself? I don't really define myself as an alcoholic, but I don't know what role
Yes.
I want alcohol to have in my life. So I think that that's a great place to have this for this in between stage, for people to explore.
Yeah. I mean, when I was looking into it 2 years ago, when I was kind of wanting to do it, but not sure where to start, I looked on Instagram for places that I could find that kind of support and I couldn't find it. And that's why I was like, I don't want another woman who already knows in her heart that she wants to stop to falter for 2 years or 4 years or whatever because she can't find the support that she needs.
Yeah.
And sometimes that support is literally just being able to say, you know what, I had wine last night and I didn't really want to, but I did without being judged.
Hmm.
And that's what the group, like sometimes that happens when you're in the process of being alcohol free. And I don't even use the word sober or alcoholic. I don't like any of those words because I feel like those are just a label for something that's not, it's not a disease. I mean, I don't believe it's like a disease that you just can't ever get rid of. I think that there is a way to get past it so that, it's not like people who smoke cigarettes, they get addicted to cigarettes, right? But when they stop smoking, they're not called like a recovering smokeaholic, right? It's like
Yeah.
once they stop smoking, that's it. They're just non-smokers from now on, right? That's
Yeah.
how I look at kind of like alcohol. Like it is an addiction, whether you drink it once a week or 5 times a week, it still is an addiction. That's why it's hard to stop partially. And when you stop drinking it, I don't want to give someone a label that was like, you were broken before, but now you're fixed.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just you've chosen a healthier path for yourself, for your life, and what's going to work best for you.
Yeah. How have you
My
found
phone says it's reconnecting. I don't know if you
yeah,
lost me
I
or
would
I
just
lost you.
I'd just ignore it. I would just ignore it. When you okay, you can hear. It's fine. When you with your community, have you found like are you seeing people that are ending up giving up alcohol or is it just like sort of an exploratory conversations? Like what have you found has happened within the community?
It's been funny to watch because it's kind of a myriad of things. There's some women that have come in and they already have given up alcohol, but they just want the support because sometimes it is, challenging. And there's some women in there that are still drinking on a, somewhat regular basis, but I think they're just taking the energy from the group that is, and it's helping push them along their way to, less and less, which is fine. And then there's some that have actually stopped drinking as soon as they joined the group, and they haven't been drinking since. So it's kind of all over the place, which I really love because I feel like that is the majority of women. We're all like, if you don't want to drink, you've been in all those stages. So
Yeah.
I feel like having all of the stages in there is great.
Yeah. And I mean, I just can't say enough about even just talking about how this has been for you and, being that brave voice of this is sort of an uneasy thing for me, but I want to be a support for women because I mean, the reason I was so excited when I saw you start it is that we've talked about this in the DMs before, about alcohol and sort of
Hmm.
our, desire or potential desire to stop. And it's funny because I always wanted to as well. And I've dabbled in like, the dry January and sober October and all of that. But it's funny where I'm at now. I have no
Hmm.
desire to stop, not like like zero. And I just sort of laugh at like how my own exploration of it has evolved. And who's to say that in a year from now, I'm like, I don't want anything to do with this anymore. But it has wavered, and I feel like I'm on sort of like a seesaw, with it.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like there's so many ways to have it or not have it in your life. And that's another thing about why I am always saying to women, I don't want to label anybody because, and I'll never say to somebody, I'm never going to drink again. Like I'm not going
Yeah.
to say that because I don't know what's going to happen in 2 years or 5 years or 25 years, I heard someone say one time, she was like, I don't want to say I'm never going to drink again because what if I'm a grandmother sitting at my granddaughter's wedding and I want a glass of champagne? I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh no, my phone's reconnecting again. So I don't want to be or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And so what has been the most eye-opening for you in terms of not drinking anymore? Like what are the biggest advantages that you've seen in your life?
A few things, actually. I think one has been the there's this weird I've done a ton of reading and research about this for the past 2 years to try to get myself to stop. So I've learned a lot about it in the process. And one of the things I kept reading about was how drinking alcohol on a regular basis, it lowers your threshold for your serotonin. So your serotonin that makes you happy, when you drink, it spikes that serotonin in that first like 20 minutes you start drinking. And once you are doing it regularly, the things that you find joy in that normally would spike your serotonin, they don't spike it as much anymore because your body wants the bigger spike. And so I kept hearing people say, you'll have more joy over the little things that you noticed, since you've been drinking on a regular basis. And so that I totally had no idea that was like a real thing because I had stopped drinking for like a month or so before. Same thing, dry Januaries, and that I never noticed that. But probably about a month and a half in, I was like outside doing something in my garden, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a weird, almost, I felt like this euphoria feeling of happiness that you don't feel all the time, but over just being in my garden. And since then, I've noticed that I actually do feel just in general happier. And
Wow.
not like I'm jumping, off the roof, whatever, like of excitement, but just there is a different baseline now for me.
Yeah.
And then the other really big thing is My youngest daughter is 13 and she's in 8th grade going into high school. And her and I have been able to have such really good conversations about drinking and alcohol. And it is coming at exactly the same time that she's being introduced at parties that she goes to of it. And I mean, 8th grade, I didn't drink in 8th grade. So that's mind blowing to me, the fact that that's even happening.
Yeah.
But it is happening. And we can have such a great open conversation about it now that it means a lot to me because
Yeah.
I know that now she sees it differently than I did when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy about that part.
Yeah. You're breaking the cycles and you're giving her other options, right? Like, because especially at that age when they're so easily influenced by their peers, there's probably not a
Yes.
lot of people saying, no, I'm just not going to drink just because I'm not.
Right. That I mean, and she hasn't grown up around that, right? Up until
Yeah.
now. She's
Yeah.
grown up even around parents who, we always were at cookouts, we're drinking, birthday parties, we're drinking, go out to dinner, we're drinking. And so she's just grown up and she has two older sisters who she's seen at their 21st birthdays. We make a big deal about it. And it's, oh, now you can
Yeah.
drink. And I really wanted to take that part away from it. Like, I don't want being able to drink alcohol to be like this big, great thing that you strive for, because
Yeah.
that's ridiculous, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I'm 100% at fault at it. Like, I'm not any better than anybody else. But
Yeah.
now that I see it different, I want to do it different.
Yeah. Well, when you know better, you do better, right? And that's sort of the mind fuck that I'm having
Exactly.
right now with it, because I'll be the first to tell you. I mean, I'm sitting there yesterday by my parents' pool having a seltzer and I'm like, alcohol is poison. I know it is, but why am I fucking drinking it? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. I
but I'm like,
know.
yes, it is
I
poison
know.
that I'm
Yeah,
drinking and I'm choosing to
exactly.
drink it. Like,
I know, and I did too for many years, and so and we all and there's so many reasons behind why we do it, but it's true. But sometimes that's not, and that doesn't outweigh the benefit that you are getting from it.
yeah.
And if it ever does outweigh it, that's what my group's for, right? Like, for
Yeah.
when the benefit doesn't outweigh that, then people come check me out.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think also something that has been really eye-opening to me is whenever I did like the dry January or the sober October, you do get in your head about how other people are going to perceive it. And I always loved the
Yes.
intentionality of not drinking and how it felt to make those decisions. One, and two, that nobody gave a shit. Nobody even paid attention. And if you look, because I talk to a lot of people in therapy about, cutting back on drinking, or if they think it's a problem in their life. And they get in their head about like, what will people think if I don't order a drink when you're out? And I'm like, maybe it's just the groups that I'm in, but like when I look around, there's a significant amount of people that don't drink. Like they don't drink, they're choosing to have water or whatever their choice is. But if you look around, it's not everywhere. So it's oftentimes just in your head or what you think people are going to perceive it as, and it's not a reality.
Yeah, right. I mean, I definitely I've had both situations where there's like certain circles of people and friends that they don't even blink an eye. But then there's others that I think they feel like if I'm not drinking, then they need to not drink, or they need to not drink as much. And then that suddenly becomes an issue. And I mean, I have people all the time be like, why are you not drinking? Like, it's not like you drink all the time. It's nothing bad is happening to you. Like, and so I get it. I understand that because I had the same feeling. And I was even afraid, like, some of my girlfriend groups were all really based around drinking, right? I
Yeah.
mean, not really, like, we're there to hang out with each other, but we never hung out with each other without alcohol.
Yeah.
So that was a little scary because I thought, okay, well, what if I get in that group and I desperately want to drink because they're drinking? I worried
Yeah.
about that. And then I worried, well, what if I don't drink and then they get mad at me for not drinking because I'm making them feel bad? And that's a real thing. It happens and it is very difficult. And it is one of those things that you have to work through, right? Because once you get past it, either your friends are going to accept it, which I would probably say 99.9% of the time they do, and then they just move on and get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they're not. And if they're not, you really just have to kind of think about what kind of friend that is, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So if
yeah,
someone's going to judge you in that way, then they were probably not really that good of a friend to begin with.
yeah. Well, and it's growth, right? And sometimes there's people for a reason or a season or a lifetime. And that may be that friend group may have been a season because like you said, that example of why you stopped because of that big dramatic fight with or argument with the friend group or whatever. I'm sure you woke up and were like, is this what I want to look like? Because sometimes you're around people who have been drinking or who are a certain
Yes.
way, and you realize that that's not how you want to be anymore, or you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If that's not lining up for you, then it's natural to be like, this doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. That is absolutely 100% correct, and exactly how I had to start seeing it. But that alone is growth right there, right? Like being able to step back and say, no, this is what I need to do for me, and maybe this is just the end of this relationship or this friend group, or maybe this just I don't need to be as connected to it or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is growth.
Yeah. And I think for some people that's hard too. I think there's a lot of people that I see, women that I work with, who just have a hard time with sort of the ebb and flow of friendships changing. And so it can be hard to be like, these are my people. How do I don't want to not fit in with this anymore. I don't know how to make new friends, or I don't know how to let these friends go. And so it's sort of living in that scarcity of like, I still want this to fit in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that happens everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like no matter what, whether you're talking about alcohol or not, I feel like you get to a point in your life where you do have to accept that some, like you said, some friendships are only there for a season, not for a lifetime. Maybe they're not meant to be there for a lifetime, but just accepting it and being able to allow yourself to feel sad about it. Like you can feel sad about it,
Yeah.
but knowing that it wasn't meant to be forever. And
Yeah.
that's how alcohol was to me too. Even, I mean, I joke, people think it's funny who've never gone through what I did, doing this. But when I finally really in my gut, like I said out loud, I'm done. I'm going to go alcohol free. It was almost like this morning, like I like lost something really close to me because I had to think about, situations that I knew would revolve around alcohol. Those won't happen anymore. Right. And
Yeah.
like I went on a winery tour to Napa Valley with like my good friends and we had a blast. But like that won't happen again, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
there is a little bit of like mourning to it
Yeah.
but you just have to allow yourself to just be sad about it, but then remember the reason why,
Yeah.
like just like a friendship, be sad about it, but then know like if you stay friends with that person, that's probably holding you back from being who you're supposed to be. And
Yeah.
so you need to let it go.
So how do you mentally go into social situations? Like I know you said that you don't want to say that you're never going to not drink again. So do you just go into situations? Do you ever ask yourself like, am I going to have a drink today? Or I mean, I know because I know for me, like if there's a drink on a drink menu, right? And I don't see something that sticks out to me, I'm like, I'm not going to choose to just fit in something that I can drink, right? I want to go into this situation having a delicious cocktail because it's summer and I want something that fits my mood. And if it doesn't, I'm going to say no. And I am happy with that level of intention
Right.
because it's not just drinking to drink, it's drinking for the experience. So how do you handle that sort of, I don't want to say ambiguity, but knowing that you could make that choice at any time? How do you walk yourself through it?
So I think that it's a fine line, but I also think that it's funny because I don't see it that way. Like that's not how I look at it. When I think I am not drinking, I just know that I'm not. Like I'm not drinking, but I also don't. You know how it's just the same. It's the same thing as anything, right? If the second you tell yourself you can't have something, what do you want? You just want that one thing, right? And then you're just focused on that one thing. So my whole thing is I never say I can't
that you
have
can't.
this or I all right. I never go into it like that. I always know that I have my own choice. I make my choices. And my choice right now is to not drink. And every day but I don't also want to be someone who has to remind myself every day, don't drink today. Right. Like I also don't
Yeah,
want that because that again is that negative
yeah.
vibe around it. So
You can't
instead,
have
I
this.
have just tried to. Exactly. And so I have tried to switch that to I don't want to drink to that. I'm not drinking because I don't want to. Like that's
Yeah,
it. End of
yeah,
story. I don't want to. And I've never since I made that decision and since I've started approaching it in that way, I have not even wanted to drink, which is actually mind blowing to me because
yeah,
I'm a wine drinker. And so, like you said, oh, if you don't see anything on the menu, there's always wine on the menu,
yeah.
right?
There is,
Like
there is.
anywhere I go, there's wine on the menu. So there's always something that I would have liked
Yeah,
to drink, right? So but I don't even. And I worried the first time I went out to dinner with friends if they got wine, would I like be like, oh my gosh? And I didn't. I didn't want it, and it is very much working on your own mind and shifting away from the I can't, I shouldn't, it's whatever, I need to do this forever mentality to this. I'm free of
to
doing
make a
that.
choice. Yeah,
I'm not doing that anymore because this
I
feels
love that.
better. And then yeah, exactly.
Are you a mocktail?
Yeah, it's a big mind shift. So, non-alcoholic wine is disgusting. If anyone's tried it, they know. So I don't drink that ever. I was always a wine and beer drinker. So I won't drink wine, fake wine, because I can't. It's awful. But the beer, they have really come a long way in the past couple of years with non-alcoholic beers. So if by chance I feel like the only time I've ever done it is if I'm out with people and everyone's ordering a drink and I don't know. I'll order like a non-alcoholic beer, but usually I just drink one and then like that's it. And I'm good. Like
Yeah,
I had that and then I'm good. Mocktails are typically too like sweet for me. I don't really like mocktails, but I have realized something I've been doing recently is I'll order a mocktail and then I'll order sparkling water on the side. And then if I cut the thing in half with the sparkling water, the mocktail, it's delicious. So I have
that's
been
a good
testing out
idea.
more mocktails lately.
Yeah, I
So
love a
yeah,
good mocktail. They're just too freaking expensive. I'm like, I'm not spending
that too.
$8 on a drink when it doesn't have, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is bullshit.
Right.
But
I know.
a
It
good
is that is true.
seltzer with lemon and
And yeah,
lime, that goes a long way.
yeah, I mean, and it's funny because the other thing is I gave up drinking Diet Coke. Okay. Like I was a huge Diet Coke like freak years ago. And I stopped drinking that because it was bad for you. Right. So, oh, not drinking that anymore. Don't drink soda. It's bad for you. So I stopped. And when I quit drinking and then was out at restaurants, I would feel just not like I was missing the alcohol, but like there was nothing. I just didn't always want to just drink water
Yes.
either. Like I was like bored with that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have a Diet Coke. So since I haven't been drinking, I have been drinking like I'll have a Diet Coke if I'm whatever to dinner and I feel like having one. But someone said to me, they were like, look, you can either drink you gave up Diet Coke, but you kept on drinking wine. And they're like, wine is poison and
Yeah.
Diet Coke has bad things in it too. But so if you're willing to give up the wine, like you can have a Diet Coke once in a while, it's not going to kill you. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? That's really true.
Yes. It's funny that you
So,
say that because I feel like the no soda thing
there's
was like
balancing.
a beach body thing. You know, we all gave up our soda and now we realize
Probably. Yeah. Because that
it's
is when I
okay to be
stopped
a little
drinking it.
balanced. Yeah. And I do it too. I'm like, if I'm at a fountain, I'm getting a Coke Zero and I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of that.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at now. And I think, yeah, Beachbody definitely made us very much black and white, I think. And now it's like, all right, I don't need to live like that.
No, it's not that serious. Well, so one thing I wanted to ask you, because I know you've done a lot of.
I think you're frozen, or I'm frozen. Oh, there
No,
you go.
are we good? I wanted to ask about this
I
because
think you're good.
one thing that was really interesting to me in that book Undimmed that I just read was the connection of alcohol to breast cancer. And that is the author, after she quit drinking, was diagnosed with breast
Yes.
cancer and now is really on this mission to raise awareness about that. Do you know anything about that from your reading? Oh no. Can you hear?
I don't know if you can hear me. Mine just says reconnecting, but if you can hear me, I'll keep going.
Oh yeah, keep going. Did you hear me what I said? Yes. Did you hear what I said about the breast cancer?
Yes, I heard that you said that she's a big advocate now about that, about not drinking because of it can cause
Yeah, so
breast cancer.
after she quit drinking, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and then I guess through her own
Okay,
research
I missed that.
has found that there's a lot of evidence that supports breast cancer being caused by alcohol. And do you know anything about that from your research?
Yes, and not just breast cancer though. There's a myriad of cancers that are related to alcohol use, and a bunch of other just, crazy things that happen to us. Like a lot of inflammation, a lot of diseases based
Yeah,
on inflammation are linked to alcohol too. But breast cancer was a big one. I think ovarian cancer is another one, and rectal cancer, colorectal cancer is another one. That those are all have a pretty strong link to alcohol. And so again, that's just another one of those little like box ticks that I'm like, oh, that's another reason. That's not like I've built up
yeah,
my arsenal of reasons why, not for anyone else, just for myself.
yeah, yeah,
But yes, I have definitely.
yeah. It's really interesting. I mean, it's really scary. So, and I know what is the first book that you ever read? Was it This Naked Mind about alcohol?
So the very first one I read was called Quit Like a Woman. And it's funny because I was actually recommended the book by a man, but this man read the book and he quit right after he read the book. He stopped drinking and he's in a band and stuff. And he's like been a really big drinker. So I thought, wow, like that must be a pretty powerful book. So I read the book, and that was the first one. This Naked Mind was the second one I ever read, but that one was the one that gave me the most valuable tools that I have been able to use to actually make the decision and make the mindset
Yeah,
change, because that's one of the biggest things. I mean, if you walk around, I know AA has worked amazingly for so many people who struggle. But one of the things that I always struggled with when it comes to AA is that they're very much based on saying out loud to everyone, like, I'm an alcoholic. Like, you had to like admit, like, I'm an alcoholic, brand yourself as that. And then they very much work on this. Every day is a day to say no. And I'm like, oh man, I don't want to have that on me every day. Like, that sounds like a lot of stress and anxiety. Like, that's not how I want to feel about it. And so shifting your mindset to this more, this is my choice and I know what's best for me and this is it. And I'm going to do this for me. And that's it. Like, that's a much more powerful way to be in control of your own
yeah,
life and not doesn't feel like you're defeated by something
yeah.
or that you are a walking problem.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I think that book is so great because she meets you right where you're at. And it's never like, you should not be doing
Yes.
this. It's like wherever the hell you are, this is the information and just take it with what you will. And I loved that because I think that with this particular subject is it can be so triggering, which is why I think people have a hard time stopping, that if you don't hit people the right way or they feel like they're being lectured or judged, then they can shut down. And I think this
Hmm.
book just remains, you can keep an open mind throughout the whole thing.
I agree. And honestly, like, I repeat a lot of what she teaches in that book. And she has another book out similar to it, more of like an extension of it. And she does a podcast. So I listen to all of those things. And when something hits me and makes me feel like, wow, okay, I needed to hear that. And that makes a lot of sense to me. I go ahead and repeat that stuff to the people in my community because
Yeah.
she just has a really different way of looking at it. And some people, I think, really need that way. I mean, other people, maybe they need that other way of the way that AA does. And that's why it's great that that's there. But
Well,
I want to bring something
yeah.
else, another option
It's
to
your effing
people.
journey. So you got to figure out what the right path is for
Yes,
you. That's it.
exactly. We're working on it, right?
Yes, yes. Well, I love it. I am so proud of you and keep crushing it and inspiring those women because I know you inspire me. And I'm just so grateful that you started that so that people can figure out what is right for them and make an informed decision for their own life.
Exactly. Thank you. I was really excited when you asked me to come on here. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never done a podcast and I haven't seen you in forever. And this is going to be so fun.
Yes. No,
So
it's so fun to catch up. So, what
I
are you doing
appreciate
for
you.
workouts now? Are you still doing body?
Pilates, like,
Oh, okay.
no,
Yeah.
I do Pilates. And my friend has a studio in town, so I do Pilates. I
Fun.
do walking. I'm training for a 5K with my 13-year-old right now. So kind of
Yay.
just what makes me happy. I know
Yes.
you like the running.
I do like the running. Oh, that's exciting. When is your 5K? Did you sign up?
Yes, it's August 15th, I think. I think it's
All
August
right.
15th.
So exciting. We'll have a great
Yeah.
time doing that. And keep me
Yeah.
posted. I'm going to put
Thank you.
your Instagram page, it's uncorked. I'm going to put it in the show notes and so everyone can follow along.
Great. Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much. I
you so
appreciate it.
much.
I always
All right.
appreciate
Well,
your support too.
I'm grateful for
All
you. I
right.
love this adventure that we're on. You take
Yes,
care.
same.
Bye.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
I hope you loved that conversation as much as I did. What a joy it was to talk to Kelly and just pick her brain. Because, as I shared in the podcast, it's something that being alcohol free is something I sort of always thought that I would become. And who knows, maybe when the climate of our lives changes and I don't feel like I am holding on by a thread, maybe I'll give up alcohol. But for now, cheers. Cheers to Kelly with a delicious non-alcoholic beer. You are an inspiration. If you loved this episode, send it to a friend. Definitely go follow Kelly. Take a screenshot of the episode. Tag us in your stories. I would love that so much. Or on social media. I don't do any ads or anything in here. So it just grows by you generously sharing. And I fucking love the people that do. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Kelly, thank you for being you and for coming on. And we'll see you next week.